Thanks for checking out the Brad and John Show podcast. This segment of the show is brought to you by John Combest's book, Stalking, Harassment, Internet Trolling, A Guide to Recovering and Rebuilding After Online Attacks. It's a great reference if you've ever been the unfortunate target of a social media attack. It's available on Amazon. Just search John Combest. That's C-O-M-B-E-S-T, John Combest, and the book will show up in your search results. Now it's time for another segment of the Brad and John Show. Can you handle it?
I'm Egbert, the owner of this station. Check out my website at egbert.com. That's E-G-G-B-U-R-T, egbert.com. Now it's back to Brad and John. Check out their website at bjshow.co. The BJ Show? Come on, guys. Anyway, here's B and J.
It is the Brad and John Show, like you said, bjshow.co. I've gotten that right several times in a row, John. I think I'm finally getting the knack of that new address.
Second nature.
No kidding. Okay. We'll talk about the Bill Eigel thing in a minute, but I want to try to get the words out of my mouth. I feel like I'm the president right now. Let me foreshadow something that you know who Peggy Hubbard is, correct?
Oh yeah.
Okay, and you know who Jane Pushkar is, correct?
Yeah, is she on the Francis Hall School Board?
Yeah, I was listening
that's what I thought. Yeah.
I was listening to Tracy's station yesterday, and I have an interesting observation of what happened yesterday, which I need your opinion on, being you, a former comms guy, and I think that I need your professional opinion on something that I heard yesterday, okay?
Sure, of course.
The Mike Carter thing, okay? I go way back with Mike Carter. Okay, to the point where, and I'll be totally honest that once upon a time had a business relationship with Mike Carter as an attorney. And Mike Carter, when my mother ended up in the hospital, and quite honestly, we were told she was never going to come out of the hospital and that she was not going to live, and ultimately she did, thank goodness. But we had to do some last-minute stuff with her will and stuff like that. So my brother and I hired Mike Carter. So just to be upfront and honest, we did have a business relationship. This goes back, I don't know, maybe 14, 15 years ago. But I just want to let everybody know that, once upon a time, we wrote a check to Mike Carter. Okay? Are we clear on that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Mike Carter spends a buttload of money. Okay? And you're going to make fun of me, John. He won't spend squat with our radio stations, which just won't, for whatever. And I've contacted him and had conversations with him, and he just sort of blows me off. And to the point where he's spending huge dollars right now on 97.1. Now, for all I know, he's on a bunch of different radio stations. But what he's doing is, and once again, Mike Carter is a smart marketing guy, okay? What he's doing is he's flying under the radar with the campaign stuff because he's running ads promoting his TV show. And he calls it justice and journalism or something like that. He talks about, I'm Mike Carter, and I've got
It's on ABC 30. Yeah, right. It's usually on after Scott Fawn's show.
I've got a master's degree in journalism, and I interview these people. I think he still runs a show called Cowboy and the Judge. You know about that show?
Yeah, that was on ABC 32.
Is that gone now?
I don't know. I'm not sure if it's still up.
And if you know what that's about, it's Mike Carter and the guy who you see around town in a Cardinals uniform who calls himself Cowboy Cardinal or something like that. I think his name is Mike Renwith or something like that. Okay, so when we did this deal, when he ran for state senate, and here's the crazy thing. If you are spending money politically, you can go onto the FCC website, and I will tell you how you can do this very easily. And matter of fact, I think I turned you on to this, didn't I? Or who did I turn on to this?
Yeah, about finding out where candidates. Yeah, you did, and I've given you credit for that.
Right. So you can, anybody can find this, and I can just give you how the terms to Google. Just go on Google and type in FCC public inspection file. Okay, that's all you need to type in, and you will get the link. Once again, it's one of these crazy, government links. It's like fcc.gov / forward slash. It's got all that crazy stuff in it, but it comes right up. And all you do is just put in the call letters of the radio station, and you go down, and it'll show up. It'll show all this stuff about the radio station. This is what I'll call our public inspection file. We used to have to keep this physically in the radio station. Then they made us put it online. So it's been online for.
And so you check 97.1, and you see that he spends a lot of money with them.
Well, no, now he's not. See, that's the interesting thing. Right now, he's not there because of the fact that the money he's spending is not political money. See, that's
right.
what
I get it.
That's what he's doing. He's pulling an end run where he's just buying, and he's running two sets of ads. One ad is just an ad that promotes his show about justice and the judge or journalism and the judge, whatever. And the other thing he's just running his regular attorney ads. And if you don't know, Mike Carter runs a company. Matter of fact, if you listen to Z1077 on any Friday night or any Saturday night, you'll hear Mike Carter's ads about every 5 minutes. And once again, he's been very successful. He has some interesting campaigns, don'tblow.com or something like that. And he's one of the guys that fixes traffic tickets. Okay. In the last go-around for Senate, he spent $500,000, okay? And he bought, most of the stations he bought were out-of-town stations. And once again, I'm not trying to say that because of the fact that a radio station is owned by a company in Minneapolis or New York or Philadelphia, you shouldn't listen to them. I'm just saying that if you're a local dude and you're saying, hey, I want to support the local community, and yet you don't support, the local radio stations, I have a problem with that. I really do.
I get it. And so in a Republican primary, and just but if you're Mike Carter, you probably, or any other candidate, Brad, you look at 97.1 as being a local station because Mark Cox lives in St. Louis. Annie Fry lives in Illinois, which is a little different. But if I'm them, I say, well, of course 97.1 is a local station. They employ people here. They talk about issues here. They have a lot of content besides national stuff. They talk about Missouri issues. I'm sure Mike Carter and other candidates don't view 97.1 as being an out-of-town company, Brad. They think it's the local hometown conservative station.
But it's not. But
I understand what you're saying, Brad. But to them it is. Mark Cox lives in this community.
But let me take it one step further, okay? When Mike Carter ran for state senate, okay, a little piece of his district is in the 97.1 listening area. The majority of his district, that Senate district, is not in the listening area. For example, he has that Senate district is like the tip of St. Charles County. It's like the western part of St. Charles County. I don't even think it's all of Wentzville. It might be all of Wentzville, but essentially it's like the most western part of St. Charles County, and then it's Warren County and Lincoln County, and it goes all the way. I believe all the way it doesn't go to. It's not in Boone County, but I think it's in Callaway County, which is the county which is just to the east of Boone County. Correct?
That's correct. Yep.
Okay. So, in other words, he's spending money to run an ad that's running in 15 different counties that have no interest in Mike Carter running for Senate, because you can't vote for him in Illinois, you can't vote for him in St. Clair County, you can't vote for him in Jefferson County, nor Franklin County, nor St. Louis County, nor St. Louis City. So, in other words, it's to the point from a marketing standpoint, you're wasting your money. Now, when he goes on the radio and he buys Z1077 and he says, hey, I'll fix your traffic ticket, anybody who's listening to that station can say, man, that...
Right, but you're talking about the fact that a political targeting message needs to be in the same geography that he's running.
Well, once again,
I get it.
It's to the point where one of the things that frustrates me is I have people that, once again, when we're out selling advertising, I compete on a daily basis with all sorts of crazy stuff. And I compete all the time with people that say, well, when I'm running my ad on the internet, it's geo-fenced, where I'm not spending money for people that can't do anything.
Right.
How many times do I go on the internet on various news pages and I get HVAC ads for guys in Paducah?
Right.
I'm thinking to myself, okay, so your geo-targeting works really great. So in other words, that guy in Paducah, when that showed up on my phone, he just paid for that ad. He just paid for an impression, and there's no way in the world I'm going to use him in Paducah. So I use the same analogy, okay? So the point being that, once again, I have an issue with Mike Carter, and I'll be up front and say, I've thought this out, and I don't know if I want to have him on the air.
Okay. Hey, Brad, that's your call. Listen, I don't know Mike. So, I mean, and Lord knows there are candidates for Secretary of State I really like. So I don't have any vested interest in having Mike on the show. Now, for what it's worth, you think there's a chance that Mike knows somebody at 97.1 who he really likes and who he says, hey, we'll kick you 50 grand worth of business this cycle because we like you. So you're also assuming, Brad, you're making a very logical argument about why a political campaign should follow numbers and metrics and district boundaries. Maybe Mike just likes those guys, and maybe Mike thinks, okay, after I lose this election, I can still come on 97.1 anytime I want to and talk to people. What's 50 grand to Mike Carter?
Well, okay, here, let me say this. First off, I congratulate hold on a minute. I congratulate Mike Carter for spending money in radio. I'll say that right up front. I don't want to be a hypocrite because of the fact that one of the things I say all the time is us in the radio business, we radio people, we compete. Matter of fact, I had this discussion with somebody yesterday, and they were saying, well, like, how, is it easy to sell radio? I go, no, it's really hard now. Why is that? Because everybody thinks radio's dead. So this person said to me, well, it is. So I sent him the Nielsen article that I've sent several people. Matter of fact, I don't know if did I send you this one or not?
You haven't, no.
That's from last month, which shows radio as the number one mass media bureau. It's number one. Beats everything. I mean,
and Brad, let me interrupt. While we're on this topic, because I think there's a way to make this constructive. So for the political people who listen to this, who are involved in the campaigns and buying ads, let's talk constructively about if you were to sit down with them and explain to them the numbers of people who listen to radio, what Nielsen says, and also, Brad, how they can contact you. How might we do that?
You want my phone number?
Well, I think that and let's take this away from a Mike Carter or a 97.1 and talk as a primer for people who maybe haven't bought radio before. How would they go about buying ads on Westplex or ads on this station?
We make it so easy because, in fact, you can go on man, hold on a minute. I don't know what's going on with my voice this morning. You can go on our website right now on Westplex 1071 and buy advertising right this very minute. I mean, you can go on and buy it and bang. I mean, to the point where one of the things I still am very proud of with the radio business is that I have people who will call sometimes and say like let's say we got off the air at 8:00 and somebody called me at 8:10 and they said to me, well, how quick can I be on the air? I go, how about noon? And they'll go, what? I go, yeah, noon. And they go, how am I going to do that at noon? I go, here's what you do. And I go through, I'll tell you the procedure. I'll say, now you're going to laugh when I tell you this. I said, do you have a script written? Yeah, I know what I want to say. Okay, fine. Grab your phone, go sit in your car. And they're going to go, what? Or in the alternative, I said, where are you at? I'll come bring my portable digital recorder. I'll record you. I'll come back to the studio. I'll edit it up. I'll send it to you. Or the other alternative, and I've done this with several clients, and they're like amazed that this works. I said, go sit in your car, grab your phone, and pull up your camera app and record a video, but I don't care what you point the camera at. You can point it at the dashboard. You can point it at your face, but sit in your car, put the phone about a foot from your mouth, and talk. And they'll go, why would I want to do that? Because first off, your car is a very acoustically neutral environment. It's not real reverberant. It's not like you're recording your bathroom or something where it sounds horrible. You can record a really good, I can tell you, there's ads on this radio station right now that you can't. If I played an ad back to back with a client I had in the studio and a client I recorded in their office or a client they recorded in their car, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Okay, I'd say, and then send that to me and I'll edit it up. Okay, so then the political thing, there's some paperwork we have to do, which you know about. It's the NAB stuff, which and most of the time, if I have a client that's interested, I pre-fill most of the stuff out. I pre-fill the forms out. I send it to him as a PDF. I said, and what I do is I send it to him as a what do you call it? A fillable PDF. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
Where you can actually fill the stuff. Now, the only thing they have to do is they have to print the thing out to sign it because there's no e-sign thing on the NAB form and send it back to me, and we're on the air. But now I'm ranting, so I'm gonna say something else. Okay, I'm gonna say something that you're gonna probably laugh at when I say this. Okay. Republicans are cheapskates. Okay? I'll say that right up front.
Yeah.
They're
Hold on, and let me interrupt you for 1 second, Brad, because I think this can still be constructive. I think about a lot of young people I know in politics that haven't purchased radio before, and what you're saying is that after they listen to this segment, which we're recording today on Friday, they can contact you from their campaign and the campaign that they're running. And they could be on the radio as soon as this weekend. They could talk to you about rates. They could talk to you about packages. And yes, some Republicans are cheapskates. But I think we're doing a good job here, Brad, of educating. And it's not the fault of young political consultants or operatives or even older ones. If they haven't purchased radio before, it's not their fault that they're not too familiar with how to go about making radio. But I think you've done a good job so far, Brad, of explaining how simple it can be for folks to go in and record a radio ad and work it into your media mix. That's what you're saying right now, Brad, right?
And see, there's the other aspect of it. We have a digital component where we have, like right now, for example, we have, and it's interesting, you and I talk about this from time to time, with the bj.show, bjshow.co, I blew it again, and with the bjshow.co website, plus zillions of other websites operate, I also have a very sophisticated ad serving system where I can put banner ads, and we are not regulated by the FCC with that. If I can put videos, I can put all sorts of crazy stuff on our websites. That's not included in the FCC regulations and the forms and all that kind of stuff. That stuff can be bought just like you go in and buy, YouTube or buy Facebook or Twitter, whatever you're going to buy politically. So that's a slam dunk. But let me just finish off because we're coming up at the end of the segment. Okay, I will say this, where I've said it up front. I've said that Biden's going to win another 4 years. And why is that? Because he has the movers and shakers, primarily in the media. They're all Democrats. Everybody in the movie industry, everybody in the gaming industry, everybody in the political, watch TV. Look at what's going on with this guy coming out from NPR. Everybody who's in the news business is in the tank, and he's got all the creative people. He's got all the movie executives. He's got all the people in Hollywood. He's got all the advertising executives who are all Democrats, okay? The Republicans, once again, they don't have any of those people, and they don't understand media. They don't understand, for the most part. They don't understand, and once again, I'm a guy that people, well, you're an old guy. Yeah, I've got, I don't know how many Facebook channels I think I've got in YouTube alone, I think I've got 15 different YouTube channels, okay? How many old dudes, and I'm an old dude, have that kind of stuff, and to the point where people go like, well, I've got a kid who's 16 years old who's really good on Facebook. Okay, that's fine. Good luck. But yet the point I'm making is the Democrats, they got guys who are like the creme de la creme of social media. They've got the guys, they've got all the Hollywood producers, all the Hollywood. And not only that, I gave this example before. When Claire McCaskill ran for, and she got beat by, who'd she get beat by? She got beat by Josh Hawley, okay? Claire McCaskill probably spent $10,000 with my radio station. Once again, and they got to the point where near the election grew close. Every day, Mr. FedEx would show up with an envelope and a check. That's the way it had to be back then. Now you can do it, with a credit card and stuff like that.
And that's outstanding, Brad. And the other thing is, I know there's a lot of young Republican political consultants that are listening, or folks who work for libertarians or interest groups. And the good thing is, Brad, this younger generation does understand social media. And they can reach out to you. If I heard you correctly, they can reach out to you and talk a little bit about how they can work radio into their media mix, right?
Listen to you, Johnny. You did my sales pitch for me? Is that what
now,
that is?
Westplex1071.com is down, it looks like, so they can't go there now.
Oh, damn it.
But if they wanted to text you directly, how could they reach you, Brad?
You can call me. You can text me anytime, 314-280-8880. And I don't want to turn this into like an ad or something like that. I'm just, this is me being sidetracked by you asking me about Mike Carter.
I know. And you know what? It's not an ad, though, Brad, but I think it's an important thing if we can take a little bit of, when we talk a little bit about our frustrations with radio and how everything sucks, and then we can go into, hey, if you're listening to this, you're probably pretty savvy about how to click download, how to click listen. You clearly care about political issues. So the people who listen to this, they're not responsible for Josh Hawley campaign decisions in 2018. No. They can purchase ads in 2024, and they can reach out to Brad Hildebrand and do that.
Okay, but next break, we need to talk about the Peggy Hubbard, Jane Pushkar thing, okay, which I think is sort of interesting on a number of different levels. Okay, God, you get me sidetracked, John. It's all your damn fault.
I know. I hate to bring
all your damn
like
fault.
long-term kvetching and complaining around to something constructive and a way that people can give us money. But every 97 episodes, I'm going to do it, Brad.
Thanks for checking out the Brad and John Show podcast. This segment of the show is brought to you by John Combest's book, Stalking, Harassment, Internet Trolling, A Guide to Recovering and Rebuilding After Online Attacks. It's a great reference if you've ever been the unfortunate target of a social media attack. It's available on Amazon. Just search John Combest. That's Combest, John Combest, and the book will show up in your search results. Now it's time for another segment of the Brad and John Show. Can you handle it?